It was early September when Ryan Jacobs returned home from college for the weekend. He hadn't planned to. Classes had just started and he was still getting used to dorm life, but something had pulled him back to his old neighborhood in Greenville, South Carolina. Maybe it was the quiet, maybe it was the homesickness, or maybe it was the unanswered message from a family friend. Lisa Whitmore. Lisa had been like an aunt to him growing up. She lived just a few blocks away, was friends with his mother until the divorce, and had watched over him plenty of times when he was younger. But recently her messages had changed. They weren't alarming, just odd. A simple, "Hey, are you doing okay? I've been thinking about you," turned into, "You're back in town sometime, stop by." Could really use someone to talk to. It had been over a year since he last saw her. Lisa had always been kinda little overprotective, but lately something seemed off. She'd gone through a rough divorce too, and her son Kyle, Ryan's old best friend, had moved to California and hadn't returned for visits since. Ryan guessed maybe Lisa was lonely. That Saturday afternoon Ryan walked up the familiar porch steps of her house. The wind was warm and the trees in the front yard rustled gently as he knocked. He heard footsteps shuffle inside a lock. Click, then the door swung open. There she stood, Lisa. She was barefoot, wearing an oversized white t-shirt that looked like it could have doubled as sleepwear. Her hair was loosely tied back and she looked tired but radiant in a way Ryan couldn't describe. "Oh," she said, blinking in surprise, then smiled softly. "Ryan, you actually came." "Yeah," he replied, scratching the back of his neck. "Hope it's not weird." "No, not at all." Her voice dropped a little. "Come in, we need to talk." He stepped inside and she gently closed the door behind him. The house smelled like vanilla candles and fresh laundry, familiar but quieter than he remembered. Lisa walked ahead, motioning him toward the living room, but Ryan noticed her hesitate as she passed a picture on the wall, a photo of her, Kyle, and her ex-husband from years ago. It was slightly tilted. She adjusted it without a word. The living room hadn't changed much. Same brown leather couch, same gray coffee table with stacks of magazines and coasters that never got used. Ryan sat down while Lisa disappeared into the kitchen. "Want anything? Lemonade, iced tea?" She called out. "Iced tea is fine." A few minutes later she returned with 2 glasses and sat down across from him, legs tucked beneath her, the hem of her shirt falling just below her knees. She took a long sip before setting the glass down with a soft thud. "You look older," she said, smiling, not in a bad way, just grown. "College does that, I guess." He chuckled. There was a pause. Ryan shifted slightly in his seat, sensing the air turn serious. Lisa leaned back, her expression softening. "I'm glad you came. I've been having a hard time lately." Ryan nodded. "I figured your message kind of sounded like it. It's not just loneliness. It's everything. Kyle's far. The divorce left me with this silence in the house. I don't know how to fill. I talk to the walls sometimes." She laughed, though it didn't sound happy. "I'm sorry, that sounds rough." Lisa took another sip, her fingers nervously spinning the glass. "You were always a good listener, Ryan. Even when you were a kid, you never judged, and you always knew when something was wrong." He looked at her, unsure of what to say. It felt strange hearing her speak this vulnerably, but he appreciated the honesty. She wasn't just someone's mom anymore. She was a woman trying to stay afloat in a world that kept shifting under her feet. "I'm not really sure why I messaged you," she admitted. "Maybe I just needed someone who wouldn't treat me like I'm broken." "You're not broken, Lisa," he said gently. "Maybe not," she whispered, "but I feel like I've been in pieces for a long time." The two sat in silence for a few moments, sipping tea and letting the room breathe. Ryan glanced toward the hallway where Kyle's old room used to be. The door was slightly ajar, revealing posters still hanging on the walls. It was a time capsule of a life. Paused. "Do you want to talk about it?" "About him?" Ryan asked. Lisa shook her head. "No, that's not what I need. I don't want to relive the past. I want to move forward, but I don't know how." He waited, sensing she was about to say more. "I started seeing a therapist, but she just writes things down and nods. I need something real, a real conversation." "You've got one," Ryan assured her. Her eyes welled slightly. "You know, I remember when you and Kyle built that awful treehouse in the backyard. You two used duct tape to hold the roof together." "Hey, that duct tape lasted 3 years," Ryan laughed. She smiled genuinely this time. "You were always more careful than Kyle. More thoughtful." Her voice faltered and she looked down at her hands now. Trembling slightly, I think what I'm trying to say is I don't have anyone anymore who sees me. Everyone looks past me now or through me, but right now you're here and you're listening and I can breathe. Ryan's heart tightened. He didn't know how to fix her pain, but he could offer this moment. I'm here, I mean. That she got up slowly and walked to the window, staring out at the late afternoon sun painting golden streaks on the driveway. Do you believe people deserve second chances? She asked. Yes, I think sometimes we're just waiting for the right time. She turned to him, her voice softer than before. I'm tired of waiting. The silence that followed wasn't heavy. It was understanding. She wasn't asking for pity. She wasn't being inappropriate. She was asking to be seen again, not as someone's ex-wife or someone's mother, but as herself. As Lisa. Ryan stood and walked to the window with her. You're stronger than you think. Lisa smiled, brushing her hair behind her ear. Thank you for coming by, for not making it weird. Never, he said. And hey, anytime you need to talk, just call. Doesn't have to be dramatic or anything, just normal. I'd like that. As he turned to leave, she followed him to the door, this time wearing a light sweater over her t-shirt. She opened it slowly, letting the warm breeze in. You know, when you were little, you'd always come here after school. When you were upset, I'd make you peanut butter sandwiches and tell you everything would be okay. Yeah, he smiled. You were right back then. I still am, she said, her voice tinged with both hope and sorrow. Ryan stepped outside and turned to her once more. I'll stop by again soon. I'd like that very much. The door closed behind him and he walked back to his car, the fading light casting long shadows across the quiet street. He didn't have all the answers, but for the first time in a while he felt like maybe, just maybe, he had helped someone begin to find there's